Hello guys and welcome to another SD2 video. Today we continue with League. What else did you expect? Yeah, I think this game has, at least from a first glance, everything that you would want for it for a good cast. We have two fantastic players with Mimile and Farid, and this is still from the group phase. And then we do have two divisions that we don't see very often with Guards Armored versus Kampfgruppe Walther. And to round it all up, it is a decently long game, and we have an interesting income matchup that usually ends very badly for a V for victory here versus Maverick. But it is a longer game, so it can really go either way. I have no idea. So this looks very promising to me. Now this is still from the group phase, of course. We have moved on to the playoffs, but except for one game that is too short for the cast, there have been no playoff games being played so far. So for this week, I think I will stick to the group phase. Finish up some games off on my to-do list, which this one is one of. And then next week, hopefully, there will be enough games played. Otherwise, I will see if there's any more good group phase games that I've missed because there's plenty of them, or I will just cast some non-league games. I mean, it's not too bad either. Then we have a little bit of fresh wind, right, with maybe different rule sets, so we see different things. It wouldn't be too bad either. But yeah, I think with that, let's go to the decks. And I want to start with the newer of the two divisions, which is Kampfgruppe Walther. An interesting one, but it has some serious limitations. And now for this map, it might actually work. We've definitely seen it a couple of times in a league so far, and I think it has pulled out a victory or two, if I'm not mistaken. So who knows? A recon up, we do have the Erkundungs. It's a single machine gun unit with a grenade, maybe some more submachine guns, maybe, I'm not 100% sure. It's basically kind of a hybrid recon unit, basically. Then some snipers infantry tab. We have lots of unique things with the Fallschirmjäger M1919A6. We have some Fallschirmjäger Pioneer, some Fallschirmjäger MG34, and then some gepanzerte Panzergrenadier Panzerfaust. So it's basically a regular Panzergren with fewer men, and it comes forced in a half track. Panzergrenadier leader with the I think it's the one with the drilling, 15 millimeter weapons, if I'm not mistaken. Then we have some Grenadier in B phase, pretty spammy, it looks like. Then we have the Panzer Grenadier MP44 with, so this is an MP44 unit basically with some Molotovs. It's not great for CQC, which I assume he wants to use it as, considering that it's the only CQC-ish unit in B phase, but he might have leftover from A phase, so that might work. But truthfully, you're probably going to be fighting mostly in towns with them anyway, more than actual CQC, and in that role, they can do that job decently well, I would say. And truthfully, the CQC that they're facing will not be that strong either. At least not at CQC. Then we have some Fallschirmjäger FT42 and some Panzergrens in C phase to finish it off. Tank tab, very limited. We have two cards of Stücks. He doesn't even bring them in. He brings both in A, none of them in B. And then B, we get the Panther G, of course. In the support tab, we do have some STGFs 251/9D. These are quite nice. You can spam them around. They can be super annoying for a little bit of infantry bullying. And even though the accuracy of the heat shell is quite bad, the heat shell can be dangerous for a Sherman. It has 100 millimeters of pen and it's a heat, so it doesn't lose the penetration over range. And so yeah, if you spam them around, you might actually end up getting 1 or 2 Sherman kills, and that will already pay for the whole cards. So that's pretty nice there. Then some MG42s, of course, LG42 for some nice 2K, some ammo, AT tab, Panzerschreck, and then the Pak 38, which I think is a refitted F22 or something like that. It's definitely a captured Russian gun that has been changed, if I'm not mistaken. At least the caliber, the ammo, sorry, not the caliber. And then you have the Pak 38, of course. And then we have all sorts of tank hunters, our tank destroyers. We have the Jagdpanzer 4, we have the Jagdpanther in A phase. You get nice 2 of them at double vet, pretty cool. And then we have some more Jagdpanzer 4 in B, as well as the Panzer 4/70V, which is for all intents and purposes a Panther A without a turret, so on a different chassis, but with a high rate of fire, so I can't really complain for that. It's just if you manage it well, it's just better overall. And I mean, this is already going to show us that essentially, Mimile, I haven't checked out the deck yet, but I think he's gonna have to take all the 17 pounds and fireflies he can get. The Wolverines might be able to do some work as well, but against that armor tab, Shermans will have a really hard time. That's for sure. 8 tabs on the wagon flak filling, and then the artillery tab. It looks like Farid is planning on doing getting some big boom going. He has the Wolfram, he has the 81 mm mortar, but in B phase, so we might see Hobo's famous wolf pack, although not by Hobo himself. And then the 155 air tab, just some recon, then some fucker wolves for as fighter and fighter bombers. On the other side, we do have Mimile's Guards Armored, a division that I think has so much potential, but the infantry tab makes it really difficult at times. But it is a fun one for sure. Recon tab, we do have some regular recon, stack hounds, Steward recon, and then some Cromwell recons in C phase. Wow, okay. Infantry tab, we do have the field engineers for a little bit of CQC and speed in A phase. I mean, you kind of use them like flamethrowers essentially, in my opinion, as 15-point rush forward units. We have some rifle speed as well as motorized rifles coming in the 50 cal half track that you get, and then in B phase we have some rifle speed as well as the assault engineers, which are not too bad, but for CQC personally, I think they're very underwhelming. And then in C phase we just have rifles. Okay, and tank type we do have the leader steward, which you kind of need to make up for the lack of a leader in the infantry tab. That helps a little bit. Then we have a surprising amount of Shermans and Stewards. We do have Firefly in A phase and then the Challenger in C phase. However, it's not so. You can kind of go two ways, and Mimile chose the one that is probably better, but in my thinking, I always tends to focus on the wrong one, I guess, which is he focuses on his strengths rather than trying to match the one from his opponent's division. And truthfully, in the AT tab, you can still bring 20 of 17 pounders as guns and on tanks, so he doesn't need to spam everything with fireflies, because what he can do is, with all the light armor that we see, of course, he can just spam it around everywhere, and Farid will have a hard time responding to that because he can only buy expensive tanks to deal with that. So that's I guess what Mill's plan here is gonna be. Support tab, Vickers, and some Cromwells as well as ammo. AT tab filled out completely with all the nice tools that you get. This is one of the things that this division is so fantastic for. If you look at the recon, tank, and AT tab, you have a great mix of tanks of all types. I think this is one of the best combinations of armor in Western Allied divisions that you can get. But let's get to it. So we do have some 6-pounders, Wolverines, 17-pounders, and Achilles all in A phase, and in B phase some more Wolverines, 17-pounders, and Achilles. A tab, Crusader, and Bofors. That should do just fine. Artillery tab, we do have some Saxons off map, and then in Z phase we get the 182.9mm for some nice big booms as well. And then the air tab, you have some recon, and then of course the mighty Typhoons, both in A phase, one fighter bomber and then one tank buster, and that might be necessary to bring for sure. We have all seen Farid's deck, of course. So, and with that, I think it's time to go back to the map. And here we are. So I think you know the procedure by now. We are going to start with the map and then the deployments. So don't get annoyed by this too much. I stopped it a little bit too late after waiting for them to finish deploying. But let's talk about the map. We do have Orsha, not Orsha, Slutsk East here, of course, and it is a it's a decent map. It's definitely a little bit more red-sided. Blue can relatively easily get pushed off this. We've seen this in a recent game of Vampiro versus Crusader, where this happened, and it can be really tough for blue side to then get back on there. So very often, I would say you see blue focusing on this because blue can actually, if blue can establish itself here, it can start dominating the town here as well. I mean, same goes for red, but blue can actually grab quite a few flags with a good push. And then, of course, you have this little annoyance here. It's super easy to push in that for red side. So blue is either down a flag or has to deploy massively there. It's just very annoying. But I think we are going to go to deployments now. In the town, we do see a decently sized deployment by Farid. We have some of the 251/9Ds. We have some of the Fallschirmjäger of different types there. Pack 38 to cover off the road, and some MG42s. I haven't actually seen that very. This used to be a thing for a while, but maybe it was just on my skill level a thing. I think that was already a big thing before I played tournaments, but I haven't seen it that much as of late. The covering of these central roads. But yeah, on the other side we do have Mimile deploying very defensively as Staghound pushing some motorized rifles, and that's about it. Hold on, oh, it's moving here. Oh, okay. Makes sense. And up north, or a little bit further north, we do have some recon and search tower and some more motorized rifles, both with the 50 cal half tracks. Those should definitely be able to be cleaned out with the SDKF sets 251/90. I was going to say SDKF set, and then I remember the guy who is pointing out that the SDKF set, of course, doesn't mean anything. But I try my best to support. He's not the only one. I try my best to use the numbers more, but at the end of the day, it's just what goes most easy for casting is what I'm going to use. We do have some Pack 38s on the hill here, both of them, right? Yeah, so I guess one for this side, one for that side. That makes sense. And then some more infantry as well as a early. Oh no, Panzerek is going to the town to cover this off because he can. It happens sometimes, especially if like something fast like Staghound, the red tries to rush through here or here, so he can cover that off. That makes sense. Of a Panzerek going up here, which is also very reasonable. He can easily get pushed there by some armor, Stück, and some more 251s/9D. And then, no, actually, Mimile first, so he has a recon plane up there as well. Here we see a bigger deployment. We do have some Wolverines, absolute kings of the town, should be able to deal with the Stück. Some Stewards, which are going to be super obnoxious as well. More motorized rifles, field engineers. Okay, for that forest there, and 2 for here, just for a bit of spamminess. And then we do have the 140 off map going in. It can still do some infantry support, but it does not have a main gun, so one of those. A little bit further north, Mimile goes very defensively into these two positions. It's pretty standard. You just try to get something in here to hold that flag or potentially grab this if your opponent doesn't put anything in there. And of course, he has to hold that one. Farid doesn't go aggressive here, very defensive with some, what's that? 2 recon, G42, some light armor. And I think the same thing up north. Doesn't even try to deploy here because, of course, he's afraid that Mimile's going to push, which Mimile is doing. They have a Staghound coming in, and the motorized rifles getting in there, which is, of course, going to be super obnoxious. This is so annoying for blue side. Blue side is really at a disadvantage when it comes to that. But yeah, I think I have talked long enough. Let's get this going. By the way, again, if you think I talk too much about decks or deployments or the map layout and things like that, please do let me know in the comments. I do listen to feedback generally. So if it's something where I think no, I want to do it that way, then maybe I might not. But generally speaking, I really do my best to listen to. Also, I forget some things over time that I wanted to change that. Maybe I started and then I didn't continue. So if you can hold me accountable for these kind of things. If I tell you that I will do that and then I don't do it. But yeah, so I'm very surprised not to see a big push somewhere from Farid. I think that's not very typical for him. But maybe I'm mistaken. Um, he definitely does the right choice of not, because it's something that if you have big tanks on the Axis side, well, he doesn't actually have that many big tanks in Aves, just the Yak Panther. But it's something that you sometimes see that people decide to just go all in with a big tank right here at the start, and that can be very expensive and lose you the rest of the map. And Blue side can't really do that to the same extent. Do you have a mobile wagon coming in dealing with that Mosquito? Recon is of course very, very valuable, so you want to shut that down very, very quickly. 30 land for Mimile as he gets in here and grabs the flag. We do have the Fallschirmjäger and the Fallschirmjäger Pioneer moving in slowly. Pack 30 getting in position though as well. Staghound is a little bit of a problem. 50 cal half track is going to be even the bigger one. This one has a Panzerfaust. They could potentially deal with it, but it needs to get closer first, which is not going to happen right here. Mosquito now a little bit suppressed. The armor is still arriving, so the big pusher is not coming just yet. I heard a Panzerfaust or something like that. Oh, Panzerschreck. Kill after 50 cal half track. SKF set here is going after motorized rifles. There we go with the SKF set. It's only a matter of time. Different on the Panzerschreck here, I've noticed that nice plus defensive position there. Need to be careful, but it could potentially hop forward here. There's SKS that of course can't really push forward super well. Again, the heat shell is not super accurate, it's only 20%, so it's not the greatest tool against vehicles. Otherwise it would be an absolute unit, but unfortunately. I think they could increase a little bit in my opinion. I do think that both divisions that have this unit, or I think it's only two. I only know of this one and what's it called? One of my favorite divisions actually. Großdeutschland. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's more divisions, but neither of those really are that strong. So having this tool, and they really do lack light. Well, Großdeutschland doesn't lack light armor. Let's be honest. They do have the Aufklärer Panzer 38T, but I mean, those actually don't do super well against like a Steward or a Staghound. So I feel like, giving them this tool, make it 35. Oh, it actually gets a kill. Wow, not too bad. But make it 35%, maybe in 40. I think that would not be too bad. I think that would be fair. Oh, look at that. The Stück did go down. Off-map did go down as well. And there is the big push. So it looks like the engineers got killed by the Pack 38 here. But yeah, everything here is pushed off. Möbelwagen now being redirected, of course. Doesn't want to get that sniped by some of the stewards. And now he needs to be very careful because, of course, the stewards can now push forward and start moving into here. The SKS at 251 is already moving, but that might not be enough. And the offer now gets dropped into the town where Farid has successfully grabbed the one flag. There's one steward left here, though. It looks like it killed the SKS set, or the SKS set got killed by something up on the hill. I don't know. It's dead, that's for sure. Stick coming in front of me, I got unloaded early to avoid it getting sniped by these stewards, I assume. Up north, we do have a big counter push forming by Farid. It's one of those things. It's so obnoxious that you need to do this on blue side. But it looks like maybe these, I don't know, killer. Something killed the Stagan over there at least. Manzarek gets absolutely wiped, and this is going to be a major problem for Farid now, because of course he needs... So if you lose that hill, or that part here, it's very easy to then push you out of this flag, this first part here, then you lose this flag, and once you have all of this, you can easily pressure the town, so that loses you that flag. Pack 38 is going to get wiped by the Typhoon. And from there, you can even start pressuring these two. It's not necessarily super easy, and it's a very deep push, but you can definitely do it. And even if you can't, you can also just lock the area down. You can say you got 3 flags, that's gotta do. Even if you can just get these 2, you can put defensive weapons here and go from there. And Mimile, yeah, taking perfectly advantage of this. He's grabbed these 2 flags. He still has this one that he basically got for free, and now he's at a 15-9. This is why this map is so strong. And Farid has now 2 choices. He can focus on the center, or he can try to get back on the hill. But the problem is, in the center, there's not that many flags to grab that he could grab or potentially lose on the hill. And if he doesn't take care of the hill situation, he might lose some more flags here. So it's not really a choice. Now, as we can see here, he can still, and this is absolutely the right call, he can still pressure here to grab these flags, right? If he can grab these 3, he can stabilize things. He still needs to take care of the hill situation, but it would definitely help tremendously, but he needs to have some sort of range unity as well. The Cromwell 6 here is going to be a major issue that can easily deal with all of these. As Kev said, 251 might actually be able to snipe that eventually, but it's not that easy, and it might die to the AG, to be honest. I think it's... I do think, I'm not 100% sure, I don't actually know how it works. I think it scales with the armor, the damage that you take or that don't not take. Oh, what killed that? Is it 17 pounder here? No, oh, might have line of sight. Yeah, hard to tell. Line of sight tool is a little bit wonky at times. I think that's what killed the Yak Panzer there. That's a big loss. I mean, it's not cheap, and that's what kind of what held things right here. Stug also goes down to what, 17 pounder 2? That's absolutely devastating. So all the armor down south here lost. I think that's Archimega Penny pushing back here. It's gonna have a problem though. It's gonna waste a TNT on the motorized rifle and then gonna run the field engineer. And other than the TNT, it really doesn't do that much damage. Although it might hit the engineer as well with it. Yeah, there we go. Engineer's on the move though. No, it's an attack move. Now it's moving. All the back and forth, but he can't do it, and Farid will re-grab this. Might actually be enough to grab this flag back. That will bring it back to 12-12 as Farid grabs all 3 flags here. It is a 12-12 actually. Cromwell's going to be an issue. LG42 does have heat shells, but I think they are 1500 meter range only. So he has to stay out of range of the Cromwell 6. Yes, is just pushing forward, trying to get that kill. The Achilles might be a little bit too late, but the question is, can it do it? It is damaged. Maybe. But it needs to hit twice first, and it's gonna get some suppression. It's not gonna help. And on top of that, misses. On top of that, it needs to hit twice. So 13-11 for Farito as he regrabs this flag, still holding these 3 flags. Nice counter push there. I mean, he secured the north, and he could just push forward. I don't know if he's realized. Kundungs are moving forward, so they are gonna spot that. Probably that they're not going to get. I mean, basically, as soon as Farid realized that this thing's not going to get shot at, he can decide to push forward. The LG is now being targeted by the Typhoon. Nice queuing up the move order there. Focke-Wulf is in. Is it the good one? Medium resilience, D9, but only 220 mils. Not ideal. Both planes are smoking. Focke-Wulf looks like smoking a little bit more. Fired on top of his micro. Turning the plane. Typhoon is on the run. Oh, but fired on the micro again. Might get the kill here. Gets the kill. Wow, that's an expensive loss. Back to 12-12. So things are stabilizing. The problem is now in this kind of area, Farid's armor is really not that good. Now, yes, the Panzer IV is pretty much unkillable for a Sherman, and even a Wolverine will struggle heavily against that, except for very close range. But I mean, okay, Achilles is not too cheap, too expensive, so that could deal with that. But big thing is, these have turrets, and the Yak Panzer IV does not. And in this kind of close areas, this can be a major issue. Oh, but Mimile grabbed this flag now, back to a 13-11 once again, as he grabs this one too. What a back and forth. It looks like the SKZ 251 died. That's so unlucky. Yak Panzer now on the run as he gets outranged by the Achilles. Yeah, that comes a little bit too late. Had he managed to push forward, he might have been able to play some games around like some of these patches of cover there. But oh, look at that! Both Cromwell 6 now absolutely dismantling everything here. The Möbelwagen Dinoid was redirected, but the Mosquito can now fly around and give through a recon value up here. The other LG42 out, so that's both remaining LG42s. There's no LG42s left, as this one here died. That was the 3rd one. And this is actually really a big deal. Why? Because Mimile has plenty of 17-pounders, and 17-pounders can deal just fine with Panthers and such. They might not be the best tools. They might, I mean, not the best tools. They are actually quite great at that. Now they bounce a little bit, yes, but overall it's still pretty good. And you really need those LG42s to deal with them, and they're just gone now. Or I mean, they're not gone, but they're down to 2. One of them is out of position. I mean, it's not out of position if you want to push back in here, but if you want to focus on the open, where Farid has the advantage, of course, it's not super easy. Off-map going down here, Mimile trying to force Farid out of this forest patch to re-grab this again to lock down the area. And yeah, we can see that now 17 pounder in position up here. It's in a very weird spot, unless he can see more than we see. That sometimes happens. And now Rifles Piet pushing forward. Fallschirmjäger is the only thing that could have held that back. Pack 38 now under pressure, and now we do see the half track coming in. I don't think the Pack 38 is going to stand a chance. It's going to be the 14-10 for Mimile once again. But we have reached B phase, so and Mimile has had an income advantage, so we shouldn't ignore that. So maybe Farid's now going to be able to push back. It's definitely preparing for a big push in the center and the north. We don't see this very often, but it's definitely a smart choice, and he can easily overwhelm everything that's here. Stuart will be a problem. He needs some armor to accompany that. There's an SKS at 251 coming in, but of course that's not the best armor tool. Achilles got penned by something. By what? Did one of the Jagdpanther get into position? A Jagdpanzer get into position? Oh, we also have the Panzer 4/70. Ooh, yeah, that might have been doing it. Cromwell 6 redirected. Doesn't spot the LG-42, which is good for Farid. He might lose that otherwise. Speaking of spotting, I do want to do that more often to see what these players see, because that, I mean, a lot of things, and you should never forget that when I tell you, oh, you should do this or that, that of course, I am well aware that we know this because we see everything, right? These players don't have God vision, and that explains a lot of their choices sometimes. So Farid actually sees a lot of the armor here. Some things on the hill, of course, not the 17 pounder. Now let's turn things around. Mimile does see some of the armor here and a little bit of a support weapon, but that's about it. And there's a lot more here, of course, in this area as well as this. Two Achilles here versus the Panzer IV, Panzer IV and then the Panzer IV and Panzer G. The Panzer IV is taking some of the hits, so that's definitely good for that engagement. If these can engage after it, and while the Panzer IV sucks up all the bullets, that would be definitely great for Farid there, as he can potentially trade his one Panzer versus two Achilles. That would be absolutely fantastic for him. One Achilles goes down, Panzer IV as well. Yeah, I mean, this thing has a high rate of fire. That definitely matters. Oh, but as the second Achilles gets penned, they do lose line of sight as the... Well, not line of sight. They are... The Achilles getting out of range. Another one is already engaging, but this one has already been penned once. I don't think any of these has been penned yet. Definitely not the Panzer IV / what was it? 70? And the Panzer G neither. So, both recon planes flying around pretty much unbothered here, but there's a mobile one coming. There's two mobile one coming. Wow. One has just been redirected, actually. And, I mean, no, there's a both on the hill, actually. Out of these two have arms, so can't shoot each other down. Mimile still on a 13-11, but Farid still has plenty of time to turn that around. He's definitely lost a significant portion of his tickets, but that doesn't mean that he can't make up for that yet. It is Maverick, and it takes some time for that to get into effect, and the Maverick advantage, of course, is massive at this point. LG-42 goes down. That's really bad. Möbelwagen should be careful. Yeah, Farid notices. I guess he was expecting to push further forward. I mean, Farid is generally a very aggressive player, so it is. We do see it here for sure, but Farid usually just pushes everywhere. He has an extremely hyper-aggressive playstyle, and that can be quite powerful. Because one thing that you have to keep in mind is not to the same extent for top level players, but definitely on lower skill levels. If you know how to play hyper aggressively, it's so hard to deal with that for your opponent, because it's really hard to get around that being pushed everywhere, right? It's super stressful, and Farid is definitely someone who has mastered that excellently. Oh, but now we do have a 17 pounder in that will flip the balance here quite a bit. We do have some strafing going on. Crusader here to stop that. But yeah, the 17 pounder is going to be a major issue now as another LG-42 has gone down. There's one more which is down south, and that's not really the one that you need. Oh no, the Achilles block finds the Panther. Möbelwagen now on the run. Volkov gets the bombs off, kills an Achilles. Not sure if he focused on the one that had already been damaged, or this one looks a bit damaged too. But yeah, whoo, spicy. I still don't know. So there's, it has been discussed in a Discord recently. I just stumbled upon that whether open top vehicles take more damage from bombs or not. I always felt like they did. However, it's also possible, of course, that they do take more damage because these are usually lesser, have lower armor, and armor definitely makes a difference when you get bombs and artillery on it. So that's definitely an interesting thing to see. But for sure, Achilles is not super strongly armored with only 75 millimeters, so that one is relatively easy to kill by bombs, and we have just seen that. Stück coming in as well, so it looks like Farid is ready to take another push, do another push down south, and this is what his playstyle is all about, just push, push, push. And I mean, you see it up north, right? We don't stop, just move. Always great to match. Now we do have the Yak Panther, and this is a little bit more difficult to kill, but still very killable. It's 140 millimeters of armor. Now, that means that the 170 millimeter pen of the Achilles and 17 pounder, those shells should bounce quite a bit, but they will pen it eventually. But if nothing else helps, you know, there's still the Rocket Typhoon that Mimile can get, at least from B-phase onward. I don't think that he can afford it right now. It would be 2 ticks of income, so it's not impossible. Oh, we do have a nice little push by a Stück here. Might actually get some good flanking positions. Yeah, look at that. Might be able to get the Achilles from behind. However, the rifle spear might have a word to say on this as well. So Farid might lose that. That would be absolutely bad. Oh, look at that. Farid trying to go for the spawn. Yeah, Mimile is paying attention. He's on top of his micro, moving the rifle speed forward. He will definitely kill that Stück. And Farid should have realized. Piat lands. There we go. Farid should have realized that with how the front line was moving, that there was something in one of the buildings there. 12-12 still, so Farid needs to make up for that somehow. He needs to find the flag. You do have a Wolfram now coming in. That can definitely do that. That can do a lot of damage here, actually. Not a 17 pounder coming in for, just moved in so that it's there when you need it. That's definitely a smart choice. Stück 3 here should be able to kill that Cromwell 6. And that's the last of them too, so I think this one has died, so has it? I think it has. Yeah, it has. So that means no more 2k AGE for Mimile. But I don't think he needs it, to be honest. Oh, Yak Panther killed the Achilles. Challenger now coming in. And challengers are great for that, right? You want a tank that can brawl with this. It has a 17 pounder. It's basically the same armor as the what's it called? As the Achilles, but it's 85 points. So what's there to complain about the Challenger? It's a fantastic unit. It's not always the best choice. It really depends on what you're up against, of course, but it can be absolutely incredibly powerful. Oh, the Wolfram Strike is a little bit underwhelming, but that's mostly because the things that are really dangerous here have already been killed off. Assault Engineers here could, if they recover, potentially kill these with the Piat because they are... nothing on Farid's side is actually spotting for those. It's definitely interesting. 20 pounder is pinned, but is a bit suppressed, but not yet. Panther G coming in down here. He has to be careful because of that 70 model, but of course he doesn't know that it's there. Another 70 model was called in here, but is now redirected to the center. That's definitely a smart choice. So this is a very, very powerful thing that I can only recommend you doing. I myself need to do this more often as well. Instead of just unloading, bring... of course, at the front line it's different, but towards back lines and like defensive positions, call things in, make sure that they are within cover as you leave them just standing around there, and then you can unload them manually and make sure that they're in the right spot, because sometimes the situation changes, while things are coming in, like in this case, and then you can redirect it if needed. 13-11 now for Farid, so he's making it happen. And there we go, pushing for the hill, pushing for this hill. And there's not that much left here by Mimile. But the income advantage is now back on Mimile's side. Well, not yet because it needs to add up first. But Farid at least doesn't have good income anymore. That is now gone. I guess we're not going to see second Yak, but we might. But I don't think we're going to see a second Yak Panther at this point. From going after this, that's maybe a little bit excessive, but of course he doesn't know it. It is very, it's definitely imaginable that there's a larger force here. Oh, but Sherman and Wolverine combo kills a Stück. The SDKF set tries to take revenge, but it fails to do so. There's no Panzer Rex or anything to deal with that. So that armor blob is pretty much invincible. Focke-Wulf tries to get in. Don't think it's gonna manage it. Yeah, no. Flying directly into Crusader is definitely not going to work, and he might lose to Focke-Wulf. It has medium resilience, but still, that's very, very risky. Not a Pack 38 6R coming in to go things off. Not a Stück. Yeah, these are the affordable tools. Back to 12-12. Nicely push it. The spawn has not been deactivated just yet. I guess Farah is also just happy with spawn camping, basically. I mean, everything that comes out here is just gonna get wasted, probably. No, it's a retargeting. So maybe it would have been better to just cap it, to be honest. Yeah, Panther got pens. Don't know by what. Was it the Challenger or was it the 17 pounder here? Either way, Farad's now on the run. Still 13-11 for him, or back to 13-11 for him as he regrabs the town. Another Wolfram strike here on the center. Fails to kill anything. He re-grabs the flag though. So this is what you can do. If you can hold this town area, you can put things at the edge here and hold that, and it's super annoying for Red to actually grab it. Once Red has this and the town, it's basically impossible to pull it off, but otherwise you can do it. So infantry pushing back here, definitely interesting to see. But the armor disadvantage in this area really is a problem, and I think long term for it will struggle to push any further here. It would have needed to happen very early on, and then he could have kind of locked down this area with some AT, probably some Panzerschrecks in here, and that might have worked, but otherwise it was going to be rough right from the start. Recon providing some information here. Pack 36 killing the transport here. Rifle speared here just to return fire, just to make sure they can hold the ground a little bit. Still 13-11 for Farid. He loses this flag again as he pushed forward, maybe a little bit too far. Pack 38 here finds a half track. That's going to be back to 14-10. Farid needs a 15-9 somehow though, because things are long term not going to get better for him. So 15-9 is absolutely essential at that point. Yak Panther can chill here and just hold. But against two challengers might be rough. Maybe Pack 36. No. It is in a nice position, but it can't see enough. If they push further, he might be able to get some nice cheeky side shots from there. Or if it's moved, which is about to happen. Nice repositioning there, definitely. Mimile, though, has now artillery coming in. He has rifles and the assault engineers coming in, so he's trying to re-grab the town. He can definitely push Farid off that hill again and secure a victory here. But if he fails to do so, and Farid can stall things long enough, that game's going to go too far. So that's definitely going to be tricky. But I'm a little bit afraid for Farid on what's happening, about what's happening when the Yak Panther dies, because I feel like this whole front line here will collapse then. His whole grab there. 2 artillery pieces already in. I know, I feel like against a very aggressive players, in my opinion, artillery is usually not that good of a tool anyway, because at the end of the day, if your opponent is moving very often, you're not gonna hit a whole lot of things with your artillery. But that's generally an issue. Now, I'm not sure to what extent this is gonna happen here, because this situation here has not been super dynamic for quite a while. In this area, yes, but the rest, it's been relatively stationary, so that might definitely an impact there. Nothing of value killed here, so Farid not going to get lucky with the Wolfram Strike. Stuck here could push, but then it's just going to get absolutely smacked by the Wolverine and Sherman double combo. But it looks like the Wolverine might get killed by the Panther here. No, just panicking. Oh, Panther. Maybe it's going to be able to finish it. Wow, what armor luck is that? I mean, come on. The Panther should be able to finish that. Drag's broken. Oh, it's shooting its AP. No, I think it shot one. No. Oh, it just got lucky anyway. Finally gets a kill. Wow, what an unlucky engagement there. Stuck showing side armor. Sherman could push forward now, but of course he doesn't know that. 15-9 for Farid though, so Mimile really needs to start thinking about how he wants to turn things around. But that's the power of Maverick. Very often you don't see that up until very, very late, when you know the traits that you can the good traits that you can get more easily if you have an income advantage, and the fact that everything has arrived at the front line slowly starts to add up, and then eventually you have the turning point. But it's already back to 14-10, so Mimile fighting hard to deny Farid that turning point, or to make it as short as possible. Basically get another turning point right away. Okay, so it looks like the spawn camp strategy here paying off somewhat, but the problem is we do have now a Stuart running rampant up north here in the backlines. Could do an encirclement potentially, and we do have also a blob here of 2 challenges together with a Stuart for some leadership. We have a recon there and the AA, so everything is combined very, very nicely. That's a great show of combined arms right here. Well, it's not a really, I mean, it's all tanks, but you know what I mean. It's kind of combined numbers, I'd say. Pack 38 unfortunately wouldn't need to move down south to deal with that Stuart. Stuart, in the meantime, is just going after that poor Falchion Pioneer. Ah, yeah. Poor guy. 13-11 now as Mimile regrabs the flag up here. Yeah, I mean, definitely the absence of heavy armor here in the center is notable. But it's back to 59. I don't know how. He just regrabbed these 2 flags, I guess. Wow. Wolfram repositioning. Going after this, preparing the next strike. He should probably try to focus on this first, as he doesn't know what's there. Well, no, I mean, he doesn't know what's there, so it might not be the smart thing to focus there, but he might want to find out first and then focus with the Wolfram. I guess he's expecting that he could just push forward now. Oh, that's why he's pushing in with the MP44s already, so he wants to clear this out, then move in, and then kind of dig in there. Nice push there. Or Falchimaga pushing in, and I mean, so the thing now is that, except for, I mean, Mimile has plenty of light armor to deal with that, so that's definitely good. But the infantry doesn't have Piats anymore. Yes, some rifle Piats left, but the regular infantry doesn't have them. 59 still, as right now grabs this flag too. This one as well, although that one's gonna be only a short time hold. But yeah, now things are collapsing up here as there was nothing here to hold that. The Stuart just pushed and circled, and Farid's push hold up north here finally being dismantled. All of a sudden, things not looking super good. But the Yak Panther killed both of the challengers. Another one coming in and another one already being called as well. 17 pounder also on it. But it looks like Farid spotted it and pulled back. I guess Grenadier here providing him some vision. And we do have to check. No, he doesn't actually see it. What does Mimile see? But he sees a lot of things that's going on here. What does Mimile see? Not that much. I mean, he knows, like, the front line tells him a lot here. Strict can't push forward because of the assault engineers, of course. But just... was that 120mm bullet that just went after that Focke-Wulf? Did you see that too? 12-12 though. Things stabilized. Mimile still slightly in the lead. So his long early lead definitely paying off. But it might not be over yet. Farid still has a little bit of pushing power, but it doesn't look super good for him all of a sudden. Center is going to be a problem, especially 17 pounds are going to be a problem. He can, I think Farid can at this point just slow, Mimile can at this point just slow pushing. Just needs to make sure that these are not going to get bombed. And, you know, if you have behind them a challenger, they can deal with some soft targets before they actually even get into range to deal with the 17 pounder. That might work. Focke-Wulf being called in. I know what it's going after. Oh, I didn't realize. It's the one with the 1,000 kilogram bombs. That's another unicorn thing of this division. I absolutely forgot about that. That's such a fun thing. And I mean, the speed is actually pretty decent too. You get medium resilience, delivered right on point. So that's a fun thing actually. Gets the bomb off. It's gonna. If you see him sailing down, wipes that. Yes, some burst by Crusader. Might be able to survive that though. We have a Jagdpanzer 4 coming in. That's going to be a problem because the Challenger will outrange that. More infantry pouring in as Mimile pushes back into this flag. But Farid with another push down south. So this is the power of constant aggression. Mimile just barely stabilized in some areas. Farid already pushes back. Rifles trying to hold that, but yeah, look at that. Now these SDK sets all of a sudden can bully the rifles because the rifles do not have Piats. Because they're not rifles Piats, of course. But the Panzergren here might be able to. No, Crusaders on the run could have gotten the. Oh, yeah, no, it has a Panzerfaust. If we've got a Panzerfaust off otherwise. Wolframen now, I think, is being shelled. No? Yes, it is. What's it going after? It's going after this armor block that has already left, so it might be able to get spotted through here, and then it could die. Yeah, Farid realized moving it. He has realized that his push is coming. He is afraid of losing that. Still 13-11 though, as he finally managed to get into the lead. But now he needs to hold. He has 17 minutes, a bit less left, so he will definitely need to work hard on that. Up north we see a counter push by Stuarts, and this is now the point where Mile's light armor is going to be a massive issue for Farid. Because he has a Jagdpanzer, okay, that can hold you open, but anything else, he needs to buy another Jagdpanzer 4 if he even has some left, just to deal with Stuart here. That's not a good investment. Panzerschreck here doing some transport sniping, nice there. That one was not spotted. Panzergun here on the fire should win against motorized rifles, but of course as soon as all of these units here are going to get involved as well, things are going to look a little bit different. Jagdpanzer here trying to fight this, but it's get shot at by the Challenger here and it goes down. Still 14-10 though. What a weird front line we do have here. Some really deep and aggressive pushes here by Mimile, here by Farid. Very interesting. I mean, all of this is basically just hold by EA. But it's also just that area, that space. There's nothing here to grab. The next flag is back here. That would be pushable as well, but now there's a Sherman, so Stu could definitely win that. Up close, though, that's not as easy anymore as it might otherwise seem. Oh, and that, by the way, with the plane, that also explains now why the... I mean, it was already hit, so it would have gone down otherwise, but I don't think you need open top or light armor to to be able to explain why a unit dies to a 1,000 kilogram bomb. Challenger versus Jagdpanther. There's some more flanking going on. Another Challenger moving in. Jagdpanther might be able to get another shot off. Maybe it finishes off the Challenger, who's stressed out. There we go. Challenger goes down. Crusader and Stuart pushing forward. But their tanks, I can't see that Panzergun in there hiding. Regular Grenadier, sorry. Milwagen here on the run. Artillery now going after the Jagdpanther. Jagdpanther needs to move. Stuck here seems to have died. Still 13-11 for Farid. This blob here has not managed to push any further. Stuck here on Overwatch. If they try to go either way, they will get sniped by that Stucky Boogie. 12-12 now. As what? Oh, the 70 pounder grabs his flag because there's nothing here. 70 pounder moves forward. Might be able to claim the Wolframen as a victim. Farid not having anything here might end up really badly for him. 17 pounder, yeah, push forward, spots the Wolframen. That's going to be a really bad loss if that happens. Snipes it. Down he goes. This flag has been held by basically just an SKF set 1, SKF 251/1, but I think now it's going to go down. And all of a sudden it's 13-11 for Mimile. What a spectacle. That game definitely does not disappoint. You have Cromwell's now pushing forward. They might have been spotted doing so by the Stück 3 if it was still up here, but it has been a redirect to hold off this area. But yeah, Farid's hold on the map is very, very weak now. It's not that many things holding out. So the Jagdpanther is still dominating, and there's no 17 pounders here. So if the Jagdpanther can clean up everything here, Farid might actually be able to push back and grab some ground here. I mean, if he could do an encirclement going here, that would be absolutely massive. But I don't think it's going to happen at this point. But he might, who knows. Grenadier gets wiped as rifles push forward. Panther here, the problem is the Panther will probably not have much vision. We can see maybe the Kunung sees something. Yeah, the Kunung's actually, no. Yes, his Panzergren here provides some vision. And tanks are easy to spot, so I mean, this was really important right now for Farid. Mimile is in a comfortable spot. He knows he has time. He knows there's the income advantage. He can just build up and push back, and he's doing this right now. There's a very deep push going on. He is now redirecting his forces. The Cromwells will definitely struggle against a Stug, but they can do it. 70 pounder could assist potentially. Focke-Wulf going for a strafing run, I think, on 70 pounder. Yes, it does. Or Vladimir FG42 is going to get wiped. Yeah, but the Crusader and the Bofors stopped that. And the Focke-Wulf goes down. That's a massive loss. Any air losses at this point, or just losses in general, are not easy to replenish for the Maverick player. And look at that. Mimile showing the advantage of his plentiful and cheap tools and pushing back. 17 pounder. Did he get a shot on the Yak Panzer IV? Something definitely shot at that. I can't imagine that the Sherman got a pen, or the Cromwell, or the Staghan. But all of these, you know, you might be able to get some side shots or some going or something like that. I think that's going to happen right now. No, why did he move? He might have... I think he started moving before he shot, so that means that the accuracy is reduced, because the Jagdpanzer didn't spot it yet. But now we see the push going, and I mean, the Jagdpanzer up here, that's just a death sentence. It will get sideshotted from everywhere, and I think Mimile knows that, so he can use his armor just fine there to get that little advantage. Still 13-11 for Mimile. He's strict free now, engaging the Cromwell. Looks like he killed one. Probably going to kill the other one before it managed to kill the Stug, but I might be wrong. We can always overpen. Stuart now on the run. No, Cromwell bouncing. Or Stug bouncing, actually. Some flags for grab, but still 13-11 for Mimile. It's gonna look really rough. Cromwell goes down. Stug now going after Stuart, or what? Or is going after the rifles here? No, after the Stuart. But the problem is, even if all of this is cleaned out, the flag is down here. So 15-9 now for Mimile. Yeah, it's not looking good. As he pushes up north with some rifles, and the Stuarts are still there. Yeah, I think we've seen this with Luna's game against was it Gonzo as well, right? You would think that a division with lots of heavy weaponry should, you know, easily take care of something like what was there? What there was CIBG. Here it's Guards Armored on a map like this. But the truth is that unless you have all open, these divisions actually do have a lot of punch, and there we go. Farid surrenders, because you still have an advantage in the town areas, and these are important both on Slutsk and Slutsk East right here, and you still have tools to contest the open, right? I mean, nothing that Farid could bring here was as unkillable as an elephant, if you can make the comparison again to Luna's game, but at the end of the day, both are things that the Commonwealth will struggle with, but they just have so many cheap, affordable 2K tools. I mean, not super cheap, but relatively, comparatively to what they can find cheap 2K tools. That if he managed to keep these things under control to some degree, you can get a lot of work done. And then you have the real big problem of you can just spam around cheap lighter armor tools everywhere, and it's super hard for the Axis player if he only has a more expensive heavy tools to actually keep that under control nicely. And we've definitely seen that here again. 39 minutes, 59 seconds, so almost 40 minutes. Great game of both players. I will see it. Look at that. Farid has actually outtraded Mimile, but he just couldn't get enough of a hold on the map. Let's look at the chronology. So far, definitely getting some good trades initially. Yeah, I've wondered at some point where these Wolverines went. So it looks like they got all killed by Pack 38s. Then the off map, of course. I mean, yeah, it looks like the trades were good for Farid initially. Mimile just had an easier time grabbing flags with the off map, of course, than with the easy flag up north that he can basically get for free. It looks a little bit more. Then we have a little bit of domination by Mimile. And then it really turns into Farid's favor as the Maverick income kicks in. I mean, there's a lot of blue for quite a long time until things certainly flip and take a bad turn for Farid. Then it's relatively even, it looks like. But yeah, great game there. Let's look at the kills real quick. Yeah, the SKFs at 251/90 are very annoying, and we've seen them doing some work, but they just when they are up against armor, they are very underwhelming, unfortunately. Sherman here doing some work. Rifles Pierre de Bofus, interestingly doing more AT duty than AA duty. Artillery did not really play off that mass. I mean, you can. So the thing with artillery is you never, just by the kills, you don't necessarily know how much it actually did, but I don't think it was that big of a factor here. I think Mimile actually could have maybe won sooner if he had invested in something that's not arty. But maybe I missed the key of the pinning or kill of one like crucial unit. So that's definitely possible. So not always easy to judge these kind of things. Panzerschreck doing the transport sniping, that was pretty cool, paid off for itself. MG42. Oh, look at this thing go. Pack 38 are 36 are not too bad. The Jagdpanther, look at this thing go. Cromwell, Achilles, 17 pounder Cromwell. Challenger, 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 Challenger. Well, the Challenger was definitely challenging the Jagdpanther, but it was not much of a challenge for it. Let's put it at that. Another Pack 38. I mean, yeah, if you have lots of light armor, these lighter AT guns are actually going to do a lot of work for you. The Panther G actually did quite some killing as well. Yeah, great game. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day and see you next time. Bye.